Before every great achievement in history, there was a single thought, a whisper in the mind of a dreamer who refused to let go. One idea changed the course of nations, rewrote history, and built empires. Think about it. When Thomas Edison sat in the dim glow of his workshop, the world laughed at the idea of electric light. When the Wright brothers looked at the open sky, people called them foolish for dreaming of flight. When Martin Luther King Jr. stood before a crowd of thousands and declared, "I have a dream," he carried nothing but an idea. Yet that idea transformed the soul of a nation. When Steve Jobs envisioned a world where technology could live in the palm of your hand, people doubted. But he acted, and the world changed. Every great mind, every legend, every visionary began with a simple, fragile, invisible thought, a thought that no one else could see. But they believed in it so fiercely that it became reality. That is the true power of the human mind, the ability to take something that exists only in imagination and turn it into something the entire world can touch, feel, and live by. One single idea has the strength to transform your life, rebuild your destiny, and reshape your future forever. The truth is, your life right now is a reflection of the ideas you've chosen to believe in. Every success, every failure, every victory, and every heartbreak all began with a thought. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are a product of your thinking. The same mind that can hold fear can also hold faith. The same thought that can destroy you can also deliver you. The power doesn't lie in the world, it lies within you. Every person who has ever reached greatness had a moment when no one believed in them. They stood alone, guided only by faith in their idea, driven only by the conviction that their thought mattered. And that's all it takes. One powerful, focused, disciplined thought to change everything. That one thought can lift you out of darkness, break the chains of fear, and build a life you never thought possible. So as you listen to these words, I want you to remember, inside you right now lives the same power that moved Edison, Gandhi, King, and Jobs. The same mind that shaped revolutions, wrote masterpieces, and built empires is the mind that beats within your chest. You were not born ordinary. You were born capable of extraordinary things. But here's the question. Will you use that power? Will you command your mind? Will you feed it with strength, belief, and purpose? Because once you do, once you begin to think differently, your entire world will change. One idea, one decision, one thought. That's all it takes to transform your entire life. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. The unstoppable truth that you become what you think. And that one powerful idea can turn your dreams into destiny. Stay with me until the end of this message, because by the time it's over, you won't just believe in this truth. You'll feel it deep within your soul. The mind is a magnet. It draws to itself whatever it holds most strongly. Every thought you allow to dominate your consciousness sends out a vibration, a silent signal that attracts circumstances, people, and events that match it. You are constantly magnetizing your future with your present thoughts. Whether you realize it or not, your mind is working like a powerful force field, pulling toward you the very things you think about most. If your thoughts are centered on fear, scarcity, and doubt, life will mirror those emotions. But if your thoughts are focused on faith, growth, and abundance, the world will rearrange itself to match that energy. You see, you do not get what you wish for, you get what you believe in. Your mind cannot attract what it contradicts. If deep down you believe you are unworthy, no amount of wishing will bring success. The universe does not respond to words, it responds to vibration, to emotion, to belief. You can fool the world, but you cannot fool the energy you emit. You are like a human magnet, and your dominant frequency, the emotional tone of your thoughts, is drawing your experiences to you every day. Look back on your life for a moment, the people you have met, the opportunities that have come and gone, even the challenges you have faced. All of them were magnetized by your thinking. Every relationship, every job, every breakthrough began first in the quiet realm of thought. When you believed in your potential, doors opened. When you doubted yourself, doors closed. You may call it coincidence, but there is no coincidence. It is the law of attraction responding with mathematical precision to the power of your mind. The mind does not attract what you want occasionally, it attracts what you dwell on constantly. You can think of success for 5 minutes, but if you spend the rest of the day thinking about fear, failure, and problems, your magnet is set to attract those very things. The magnet of the mind never stops working. It pulls in whatever emotion you repeat the most. And repetition is the secret. The more you repeat a thought, the stronger its magnetic field becomes. That's why the person who constantly says, "Nothing ever works out for me," finds themselves in endless struggle, while the one who says, "Everything is working in my favor," discovers that opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. Both are right, because each has magnetized their reality. There is tremendous power in choosing what to think. You have the ability to tune your mental frequency, just like tuning a radio. If you focus on problems, you will receive more reasons to worry. But if you tune into gratitude, if you focus on solutions and possibilities, the world begins to echo those same frequencies back to you. What you seek is also seeking you. The moment your thoughts align with what you desire, attraction begins. You become a living magnet for your dream. The greatest people in history have always known this truth, whether they called it law, faith, or focus. They understood that holding a clear, unwavering thought in the mind eventually bends reality to match it. Think of Andrew Carnegie, who imagined wealth and abundance long before he ever saw a dollar. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., who saw freedom in his mind before it existed in the streets. Think of every inventor, artist, or visionary who saw something that others couldn't. They were tuning their minds to the frequency of creation, and through persistence, they magnetized it into existence. You have that same power. Your mind is not different from theirs, it only needs direction. The moment you take control of what you think and how you feel, you begin to change what you attract. Most people live as if they are victims of chance, never realizing they are broadcasting their own frequency of lack, and then wondering why lack keeps returning. Change the channel. Begin to see yourself as the magnet of your destiny, and watch how life bends to meet your new vibration. The magnet of the mind is strongest when charged with emotion. Thought alone is powerful, but thought infused with feeling becomes unstoppable. That is why belief, gratitude, and passion are so vital. They supercharge your thoughts. A lukewarm wish attracts little, but a thought burned with faith and emotional certainty becomes irresistible. When your heart and mind agree on a vision, it must come to pass. The universe itself begins to rearrange to fulfill it. But beware, the magnet does not take sides. It does not discipline your thinking, for your thoughts are the foundation of everything you become. The undisciplined mind is like a wild horse, powerful, full of energy, but directionless. It runs in circles, wasting its strength, exhausting itself, achieving nothing. But the disciplined mind, trained and focused, becomes unstoppable. It turns chaos into clarity, confusion into creation, and dreams into destiny. You cannot master your life until you master your mind, and you cannot master your mind until you discipline your thoughts. Every day, your mind is flooded with noise, doubts, distractions, fears, desires, memories, worries. These thoughts pull you in 100 different directions. And if you don't take control, they will control you. The average person lives as a prisoner of thought, reacting to everything, thinking whatever the world suggests, believing whatever fear whispers. But those who rise above the crowd are those who learn to think deliberately, to choose their thoughts as carefully as a sculptor chooses his tools. They understand that mental discipline is the gateway to freedom. Discipline begins with awareness. You must first see how your thoughts are shaping your world. When you think weakly, you act weakly. When you think with power, you act with purpose. Every action, every emotion, every result you experience originates from a single thought. To change your life, you must change the pattern of your thinking. The person who allows fear, self-doubt, and negativity to run unchecked will live in constant struggle. But the one who trains their mind to think in strength, gratitude, and belief will walk through life with unshakable confidence. The disciplined thinker does not allow external circumstances to dictate internal peace. Storms may come, but their mind remains calm. Distractions may appear, but their focus stays firm. They understand that the world outside can only disturb them if they allow it. They have learned to control the only thing that truly matters, the way they think. And because of that control, they hold the power that others spend their lives searching for. Disciplining your thoughts does not mean ignoring reality. It means mastering your response to it. It means refusing to dwell on fear when faith is an option. It means replacing "I can't" with "I will find a way." It means catching yourself in moments of doubt and turning that energy toward belief. It means standing guard at the gates of your mind, letting no harmful or self-defeating thought pass through. You would never leave the doors of your home wide open for thieves to enter. Why, then, would you leave your mind open to thoughts that rob you of peace, confidence, and purpose? The mind obeys whatever you allow it to repeat. If you feed it discipline, it will serve you with power. If you feed it weakness, it will betray you with failure. Every great achievement, every transformation, begins with the discipline to think rightly. When your mind tells you to quit, discipline says, keep going. When your emotions tell you it's hopeless, discipline says, stand tall. When fear whispers, what if you fail? Discipline answers, what if I succeed? It is not strength of the body that determines greatness, it is strength of mind. And strength of mind is born from discipline. Most people wait for motivation before acting, but the disciplined thinker knows that action comes first. They act even when they don't feel like it, and through that action, clarity and motivation follow. Discipline is not a moment of inspiration, it is a habit of control. It's the decision, repeated daily, to think thoughts that serve you rather than destroy you. And with time, that habit builds mental muscle stronger than any circumstance. The undisciplined mind jumps from one thought to another, like a leaf tossed in the wind. It focuses on problems instead of solutions, fear instead of faith, and confusion instead of clarity. But when you discipline your mind, you give it direction. You become the master of your focus, and focus is the birthplace of all power. When you can control what you think about, you can control what you create. The world bends to the will of the focused mind. Think of the great inventors, leaders, and thinkers who changed history. They were not necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They were the most disciplined. They held one thought so firmly, so consistently, that the universe itself seemed to move to make it real. Thomas Edison disciplined his mind through 10,000 failures until he found one success. Nelson Mandela kept his vision alive through 27 years of imprisonment. These were not miracles of chance. They were miracles of mental discipline. You must train your mind daily. Begin each morning with intent. Choose the thoughts you will dwell on, and refuse to let negativity invade your mental space. When anxiety arises, redirect your thoughts to calm. When self-doubt speaks, answer with truth. When fear appears, focus on courage. Discipline is not natural, it is built moment by moment, choice by choice. But with every choice, you grow stronger, and your mind begins to obey you rather than enslave you. There will be times when the world tests your discipline, when things go wrong, when you face rejection, when the path feels uncertain. That's when your mind will try to slip back into fear. But that's also when your discipline matters most. Refuse to think in weakness. Refuse to surrender your power to panic. Breathe, think clearly, and stay committed to your vision. The disciplined thinker does not deny difficulty, they conquer it with deliberate focus. Understand this truth. Discipline of thought is the foundation of greatness. It gives you control over your emotions, power over your reactions, and clarity over your purpose. Without it, even the strongest will collapse under pressure. With it, even the smallest effort can move mountains. When you master your mind, you master your fate. You have within you the ability to choose your thoughts, to rise above confusion and live with purpose and peace. But it begins with a single choice, the decision to take control. No one else can do it for you. You must become the guardian of your own mind. And once you do, once you learn to discipline your thoughts and direct them towards strength, faith, and growth, you will possess something far greater than luck, talent, or circumstance. You will possess the ultimate freedom, the power to create your life exactly as you choose. You are the master of your mind, and within that truth lies the key to every freedom, every achievement, and every transformation you could ever dream of. Nothing in this world has power over you unless you surrender your mind to it. The moment you understand that your thoughts, beliefs, and reactions are entirely within your control, you reclaim the authority that life, fear, and doubt have tried to steal from you. The greatest victory you will ever win is not over another person. It is over yourself. The mastery of the mind is the highest form of strength a human being can attain, and once you gain it, nothing external can ever defeat you again. Most people live as slaves to their thoughts, unaware that they are serving a silent master. They are ruled by emotions, driven by fear, swayed by the opinions of others, and chained by memories of the past. They move through life reacting instead of creating, worrying instead of building, and doubting instead of believing. But the few who awaken to the truth, that the mind can be commanded, begin to live on an entirely different level. They realize that peace, power, and purpose do not come from the outside, they come from the mastery within. Every thought you choose, every emotion you allow, every belief you hold is a tool that builds your future. Your mind is like a vast kingdom, and you are its ruler. If you rule it with discipline and vision, it will serve you faithfully, creating abundance and harmony. But if you neglect it, if you allow chaos to enter, it will turn against you and destroy your potential from within. The mind is a faithful servant, but a terrible master. You must learn to command it, to direct it, to lead it toward what you desire. For it will always obey the strongest voice within you. You cannot always control what happens in the world, but you can always control how you think about it. That power alone separates the strong from the weak, the free from the enslaved. Two people can face the same storm. One is broken by it, the other is strengthened. The difference lies not in the storm, but in the mind. The one who masters his mind sees opportunity in chaos, lessons in failure, and growth in pain. He bends circumstances to his will because he refuses to let his inner world be shaped by the outer one. The great men and women of history all shared this mastery. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, philosopher, ruled the Roman Empire and his own mind with equal strength. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That wisdom is eternal. The world outside you is unpredictable. It changes, shifts, and tests you. But the world within you, your thoughts, focus, and responses, can be trained, sharpened, and perfected. The person who learns to master their mind no longer fears the unpredictable, for they have built stability within themselves. Every time you choose calm over panic, focus over distraction, and faith over fear, you take another step toward mastery. You are not born with control, you earn it through practice. It begins with small moments, noticing a negative thought and replacing it, resisting the urge to react, choosing to pause instead of explode. The more you do this, the stronger your command becomes. Eventually, your mind begins to obey you naturally, just as a well-trained soldier obeys his leader. That is the moment you rise above the noise of the world and begin to shape your destiny consciously. The mind is an incredible instrument, but it can also be your greatest enemy if left unchecked. It will create fear out of nothing, turn small worries into mountains, and chain you with invisible limitations. It whispers lies. You're not ready. You're not enough. You'll fail again. But those are not truths. They are echoes of an undisciplined mind. When you master your thoughts, you silence those voices. You replace them with new commands. I am capable. I am prepared. I am destined to rise. And when you think that way long enough, you begin to live that way. There will be times when your mind rebels, when it wants to sink into doubt or anger or laziness. That is when you must remember your authority. You are not your thoughts, you are the thinker behind them. You can observe them, shape them, and dismiss them. You can speak to your mind and tell it what to believe. You can command it to focus on your goals instead of your fears. Every time you exercise that control, your power grows. The greatest warriors are not those who conquer lands. They are those who conquer themselves. Mastery of the mind also means mastery of emotion. It does not mean you never feel fear or sadness. It means those emotions no longer control your actions. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel doubt and still believe. The difference between the successful and the defeated is not that one has no fear. It is that one acts in spite of it. That is mental mastery, the ability to think clearly when the world shakes, to remain calm when chaos rises, and to stay faithful when hope seems far away. To be the master of your mind is to live from the inside out, not from the outside in. It means you no longer chase peace, you generate it. You no longer depend on circumstances, you create them. You no longer wait for opportunity, you attract it. The mind is the source of all creation. Every building, every invention, every revolution began as a thought in the mind of someone who refused to be controlled by limitation. When you take command of your own mind, you join that lineage of creators, leaders, and visionaries who shaped history through the sheer force of disciplined thought. Every day, you have a choice. You can hand over your mind to fear, distraction, and negativity, or you can reclaim it and direct it toward strength, vision, and purpose. You can live as a prisoner of thought or as its master. The difference will define your life. When you learn to command your mind, you are no longer at the mercy of luck or circumstance. You become the architect of your reality. The storms may come, but they cannot shake you. The challenges may rise, but they cannot break you. For a person who has mastered their mind is unbreakable. The world bows to those who have conquered themselves. The power you seek, the peace you crave, the success you dream of, they all lie within the mastery of your own thoughts. The kingdom of your mind is waiting for its ruler. Claim your throne. Command your thinking. Direct your energy toward greatness. Because once you become the master of your mind, you become the master of your world, and no force on earth can ever stop you again. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. Without it, even the greatest ideas, the deepest dreams, and the strongest beliefs remain trapped in the prison of imagination. You can think, visualize, and plan endlessly, but until you take bold, decisive action, your ideas will never breathe life. It is action that transforms the invisible into the visible, the abstract into the tangible, the dream into destiny. Thought is the seed, belief is the water, but action is the sunlight that makes it grow. Without action, nothing in this world can come alive. Too many people live their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the fear to fade, waiting for the stars to align. But life doesn't reward those who wait, it rewards those who act. The universe responds to movement, not hesitation. The person who takes one small step in faith will accomplish more than the person who spends a lifetime thinking about it. You don't need the perfect plan, you need the courage to begin. Because once you begin, momentum takes over, and momentum is the hidden force of greatness. There is a power that comes alive inside you the moment you act. That first step, no matter how small, ignites energy, focus, and belief. You begin to see that progress is possible. You begin to feel your potential awakening. But when you stay still, when you think without acting, that same energy turns into frustration, anxiety, and self-doubt. You were not created to stand still. You were created to move, to build, to create, to bring ideas into form. Action is the natural expression of faith. It is your declaration to the world that you are serious about your purpose. Think of every great achievement in history, every discovery, invention, and revolution. They were all born from someone who dared to act when others only thought. The Wright brothers didn't just dream of flight, they acted. Thomas Edison didn't just believe in light, he acted. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just imagine justice, he acted. Each of them faced failure, doubt, and resistance, but their willingness to act turned their ideas into reality. It was not luck or genius that made them great. It was the relentless discipline of action. Action requires courage, because every step forward comes with uncertainty. You will not always know how things will work out. You will stumble, fall, and fail, but failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Failure teaches, refines, and strengthens, while inaction dulls your spirit and drains your power. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more confident you become. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes your new normal. That is the magic of consistent action. It transforms the unknown into the familiar. Most people think they need motivation to act, but the truth is the opposite. Action creates motivation. You can't wait to feel ready. You must move first, and the feeling will follow. The moment you start doing, your mind begins to shift. You build momentum. You prove to yourself that you can move forward, even when it's uncomfortable. That's how you develop strength. Every small action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Each time you act with courage, you reinforce your belief that you are capable, powerful, and unstoppable. There will be days when doubt screams louder than belief, when progress feels invisible, when your dreams feel too far away. Those are the moments that test you, the moments that separate dreamers from doers. The dreamers stop. The doers keep moving. They act not because it's easy, but because they understand that every step forward, no matter how painful, brings them closer to victory. They know that consistent, focused action has a compounding power. What begins as a single step can, over time, move mountains. Action is not just about doing something. It's about doing the right things with intention. It's about aligning your actions with your vision, not just staying busy. Many people mistake activity for progress, but true progress comes from purposeful action. You must ask yourself, are my actions today moving me closer to my goal or further away? Discipline is doing what matters, even when distractions call your name. Every minute you invest in aligned action becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. There is an invisible law that governs success. What you consistently act upon, you eventually become. If you act with discipline, you become disciplined. If you act with courage, you become brave. If you act with belief, you become unstoppable. Your actions carve your identity. You can't think your way into change. You must act your way into it. Every morning you are given a choice, to remain as you are or to take one bold step toward who you could be. That step might be uncomfortable, but it is sacred. It is the moment you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. When you act, you declare to the world, and to yourself, that you are in control of your destiny. The forces of life begin to move in your favor because action creates attraction. Opportunities start to appear, doors begin to open, and people begin to notice. The world respects those who move, not those who talk. Every time you take initiative, you separate yourself from the majority who only wish and wait. The movers shape the world, the watchers only comment on it. Do not fear failure. Fear inactivity. Fear wasting your potential. Fear reaching the end of your life knowing that you had the ability, but lacked the action. Life is not about perfection, it's about movement. Even if you fall, you are still further ahead than those who never tried. Every mistake you make while acting is worth 1,000 regrets from inaction. So act boldly, speak confidently, and live intentionally. Because in the end, it's not the thoughts you had that define your life. It's the steps you took. Action turns belief into evidence. When you act on faith, the universe responds. It brings resources, people, and opportunities that align with your energy. This is not coincidence. It is the natural law of movement. When you move, life moves with you. The stagnant mind creates a stagnant life. The active spirit creates miracles. The moment you begin to act as if your dream is already possible, your entire world begins to shift. So act today, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, do something, anything that moves you closer to your dream. Write the first line, make the first call, take the first step. Momentum is built in the present, not in the future. The smallest act done today is worth more than the grandest idea left undone. Because the truth is simple yet powerful, your thoughts define your direction, your beliefs define your confidence, but your actions define your destiny. Act with purpose, act with faith, and act with discipline. Let your life be a masterpiece painted by your actions. The world is waiting for your movement, your contribution, your courage. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Because the greatest truth of all is this: action transforms thought into reality, and those who act become the architects of their own fate. Every great transformation in life begins with a single thought, a single idea, a single spark that ignites the human spirit. But it is not the thought alone that creates greatness. It is what we do with that thought that defines who we become. We began this journey exploring the truth that ideas have power, that belief gives them life, that discipline shapes them, that mastery of the mind protects them, and that action turns them into reality. When all of these forces unite, thought, belief, discipline, mastery, and action, they create an unstoppable energy that can reshape a person's entire existence. The mind is the starting point of all creation. Everything you see around you was once invisible, once just a thought in someone's imagination. The chair you sit on, the device in your hands, the cities you live in, they all began as an idea in the mind of someone who refused to let that idea die. That person believed when no one else did, disciplined their thoughts when doubt whispered, mastered their emotions when fear arose, and took consistent, bold action when others stood still. That is the process of transformation, the formula for greatness. You must understand that your mind is the greatest force in the universe available to you. It can destroy you or elevate you. It can imprison you in fear or set you free through vision. The choice is always yours. You are the thinker, the dreamer, and the builder of your destiny. The world does not decide who you become. Your thoughts and actions do. You become what you think about most of the time, and you achieve what you consistently act upon. That truth is simple, but it is also eternal. There will be times when the world doubts you, when circumstances test you, and when your own mind becomes your greatest opponent. In those moments, remember that strength is born in struggle. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and greatness emerges from adversity. Hold your vision. Guard your thoughts. Feed your faith. Act with courage. Each day you do these things, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more unstoppable. The journey to transformation is not a straight path. It is a battle between who you were and who you are becoming. But if you persist, you will rise. You have within you everything needed to change your life completely. The same power that built empires, launched revolutions, and moved humanity forward lives inside you right now. All it asks is that you believe, discipline your thoughts, master your mind, and take bold action toward your dreams. Your life can become a masterpiece, but only if you decide that it will. So as we close this journey together, remember this truth: you were born to create, to achieve, to rise, to live with purpose. Let this message be the spark that lights the fire within you. Because once you begin to think with clarity, believe with conviction, and act with courage, there will be no limit to what you can become. Thank you for watching, for listening, and most importantly, for daring to grow. If this message has awakened something inside you, carry it with you. Not just in your mind, but in your actions. Share it, live it, become it. Because your thoughts shape your destiny, and your destiny begins now.